We're going to be getting two of the Mag 7 finally reporting after the bell today. Alphabet and Tesla, two of the mega cap stocks that are reporting after the bell tonight. Right now, though, we're going to focus in on Alphabet. Joining us right now with what to expect is Paul Meeks. He's Harvest Portfolio Management CIO. And Paul, you think the street expectations are pretty decent in terms of what you'd be expecting from Alphabet, too.
That's right. The key with Alphabet, until further notice, is their digital ad business. And despite all the geopolitical madness we've seen from the economic stats, that the macroeconomic environment is still supportive. So I don't see any problems there. They're expected to grow their EPS 15%, their revenues 11%. But here's the rub, and here's what I'm really worried about that hasn't really been discussed much. If you take a look at the consensus estimate for the quarter that we're in, the quarter that they will be guiding to tonight, it is for year-to-year EPS growth of only 7%, and that is a real pedestrian number, and it signifies a pretty dramatic slowdown in EPS growth. And so I think they'll be solid tonight. I'm a little bit worried about that guidance, to tell you the truth.
Meaning if they don't raise guidance, that would be a reason to sell off?
Well, the stock is already showing that there are some at least structural problems with the business. And so if you think about it, you go from this quarter at 15% year-to-year growth to a 7% figure, and that's probably EPS growth that's even less than the average company in the S&P 500. That bodes ill because it looks like 2025 could end with a whimper rather than a bang. But we'll see. The key thing with this company is not what they report tonight. It's their guidance, as I mentioned. And also, they have to be bold. They have to really create and promote a AI winning narrative. And so far, let's face it, they haven't. And is that a operational problem, an R&D problem, or is it just a public relations problem?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the narrative that's out there is that Google search is losing out to all of these AI large language models, whether that be Perplexity, whether that be ChatGPT, Grok, pick your poison on it. Do you think that's the case?
I do think that's the case. Not a short-term issue necessarily, but clearly a long-term structural issue, and particularly Perplexity AI, these AI native searches is where we're all going. It's not necessarily on the come. That's happening now. So they are definitely losing share. How do they counterpunch is key. I also am very interested tonight, particularly since Tesla has the robo-taxi trial in Austin, Texas. Give me an update on Waymo. Also, give me an update on YouTube, because that's becoming increasingly important. And we'll see what happens. The other thing that's key is for all of us that are involved heavy in the AI infrastructure building trade, are they going to raise their capex guidance or even sustain their capex guidance? And their guidance for this year, and of course now we're in the third quarter of the year, was for $75 billion.
What do you want them to do as an investor, Paul? You think it's important to chase after this and make sure that they're winning in that space, or you want them to conserve capital?
No, I'd like them to be aggressive, even if it requires perhaps acquiring a Perplexity AI or one of these other large language model platforms. But we obviously are in the age of AI, followed by quantum computing. And in quantum computing, I expect Google to be a big player, but that's a couple years off. But yes, right now it looks like maybe it's just PR that they're losing pace in the AI race, and they got to catch up or get ahead.
Paul, I'm going back and forth. It sounds like you are a believer, but you're a show me the money guy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm always a bit of a cynic, and the company is well managed. And I do think that this might be more of a PR positioning problem than an operational issue. But let's hear what they have to say. There is no doubt that Perplexity AI and some of the others are taking share. So it's happened. How, as I said just now, do they counterpunch? Really important.
Very quickly, you own this stock, Paul?
Yeah, I own the stock. And of course, I've held it for years, so it has a crazy low cost basis. but I haven't added to this position, even on dips, for quite a while.